Hey, whew, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Hey,
Oh shoot.
whew, it's been a minute. It's been
I
a
totally
minute.
forgot how to do all this stuff, so hey,
Hey,
forgive me
whew, it's been a
as I
minute.
relearn all of it. Um,
Yeah, if you're hanging out, let me know how things, sound, look, whatever. Probably not a ton that I can do. I think I can fix the sound a little bit, but that's it. We'll start the actual work in a couple minutes. Yeah. Try some out. Did you hear it coming back through? Is it good? Okay, good now. Cool, perfect. Arthur, good to see you. How's it going? How's it going? It's been a minute. Still making videos. I've been real bad at it lately, and I want to get better. It's so much fun, but it's also just like demoralizing work. Just seeing yourself, reviewing yourself, having to put something out there that I don't know, didn't quite go the way that you wanted to, or you learned something new along the way, and now you feel stupid for not knowing it when you started. It's like, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Yeah, yeah. About a year ago, yes. Yeah, I haven't been too good at it. Maybe we can keep each other accountable on this thing. Yeah, because I'd love to see more of your videos. Your videos are great too. I say great too, as if I know for a fact that mine are good. Yeah, that's true. Where are you working these days, by the way? Yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment. I started at Chromatic in September, and it's been an interesting journey trying to figure out like kind of like where my lane is, the uh just like I don't know, there's a lot of roles that you have to do, and it's like kind of tricky to find out, like I think for me in particular, like it's really tricky to find out how much of each piece I'm supposed to invest myself into. And I get totally like kind of focused on one thing that isn't really bringing the most value. So I definitely understand that. Gym buddy, YouTube buddies, yeah, let's do it. Whew. All right. Nice. Welby, Canada. Doing some software for senior retirement homes, etc. COVID happened, so we had a bit more job to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, it's wild, like how much that impacts all of your work for so many companies. Actually, my whole family right now has COVID. I think we have a couple positive antigen tests. I'm waiting for PCR tests, but yeah, kind of a bummer. I'm like, I locked myself in this room, but I feel like it's probably inevitable. It's just a matter of time before I start seeing those symptoms. All right, 12 seconds. And then we're going to do some viewport stuff. All righty. Hey, welcome to a stream with me. It's been a minute. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I love doing them, but I've just been kind of like learning how to do my job for the most part over the last couple months. Enjoying summer. Summer's been absolutely incredible. Did a whitewater rafting trip for the first time in my life. That was awesome. And then, yeah, road tripping with the fam. Good stuff overall. But I hope you're doing well. And yeah, today my goal is so I'm making these YouTube videos. Actually, I'll just pull that up, pull it up. Storybook. So on the Storybook channel, I've been working on making some videos. I did like a little bit of an interview series. I'm working on some, kind of videos for how to use Storybook, etc., etc. And yeah, so kind of I really enjoy learning while streaming, and the next video that we're gonna do is all on viewports. So I figured, why not just stream what I'm learning while I'm learning it on viewports? Um, I don't know that I've ever actually. I think I set this up once, and that was like 3 years ago. I set up all the viewports for an application that we were, building, and yeah. So this is kind of new. Like 3 years is a long enough time that I don't remember anything about it. So super cool. Hey Ben, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Um, I'm trying this new thing. You might be interested in this, Ben. I uh got so tired of kind of like fighting OBS that I'm trying Ecamm Live out. So I don't know. Maybe it was nice to set up, just because I'm so daft when it comes to the whole like OBS streaming thing. But anyway, that's out. All right, all right, all right, all right. So let's dive into this thing. So I think I have a server running for not start Storybook. Okay, so I have a little, a tiny little React app I had generated for the previous video that I did, and it is using the Vite builder and React. So that's kind of there's literally nothing that I've done to it. It's all just boilerplate. So nothing exciting that you don't know about. If you run npx storybook init, you'll get the same thing. Let's see what we got here. So let's find a good demo for viewports. So these pages are actually really helpful. These are components, but they're like full page components. I think I can pull one of these up. So if I look for page stories TSX, we should see, we'll zoom that in a bit. This is our stories file. So title, example, page. So we're getting in this directory page. And then we have two stories, the logged out and the logged in story. I don't think it really matters which one we look at today. So let's look at logged in. And for viewport, what do we have? So this is our viewport button. Zoom that in a little bit. This is our viewport button. We hit viewport and we can select a viewport. When we hit V, we can kind of toggle through those viewports. And I'm going to turn that sidebar off just because I like the space. So V, we can toggle through these, and then we can swap the values so we can see the, horizontal or vertical, being that length. And then we can overlay some of our other tools. So super cool there. Now, what I want to do is figure out where these values are coming from. So we have a small, large tablet. It's nice for a demonstration, but obviously it's not going to get us super far when we're working in an actual application. So first and foremost, I want to know where these are configured. And then secondly, let's see, so we can reset viewport. Secondly, how do we add others? How do we add more? Are there standard ones? Or let's see. So there's standard library viewports, and then how do we add custom ones? Okay, so those are, at this point, those are my questions going into this. So we have this document. It's storybookjs.org, docs, React, essentials, viewport. I just Googled Storybook Viewports. So that's the best way to get there, probably. The viewport toolbar item allows you to adjust the dimensions of the iframe your story is rendered in. It makes it easy to develop responsive UIs. Okay, so this is actually a really important thing. I actually covered this in my most recent video. One of the cool things about having this tool built in is if I were to kind of open up DevTools on my storybook and then go into one of these mobile modes, um, I have this additional storybook Chrome that I'm working with, which is more pronounced if I have that sidebar open. And so one of the nice things about having these tools available inside of Storybook is that problem effectively goes away. I can see my component at that viewport. Super nice. The other thing is now that this is shared, so whereas all of my configuration for viewports inside of DevTools is really just localized to my machine and the browser that I set them up in, now I can share this, any component anyone can look at just by clicking this button. They don't have to have DevTools, and all of our breakpoints can be set up in it if I set them up correctly. So let's dive in. So configuration. So out of the box, the viewport add-on offers you a standard set of viewports that you can use. If you want to change the default set of viewports, you can set the global parameters.viewport parameter in Storybook Preview.js. Okay, so we're going to go into Storybook Preview. Interesting. So this is a CJS file inside of our Vite setup. Interesting to know. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Okay, so we have. Okay, so viewport. So it looks like nothing's set up in viewport at the moment. Okay, so we can add this viewport field. Save that. New viewport would be a viewport map. See below for examples. Okay, so pasted that in. That's not going to do anything because we haven't defined this map of viewports. So let's figure that out. Okay, the viewport global can take an object with the following keys. So we have default viewport. Okay, we have viewports, so default viewport is a string, set default responsive. Default value is responsive. Okay, so I can take this out because the default value okay, and we'll see what that is in a second. Actually, if I take this, I assume responsive is the view where I don't have it activated. The reset viewport one, but we'll see about that. Let's see, disable Boolean disables the viewport. Okay, so if I say disable, okay, cool. So that makes it go away. Okay, cool. So this. Okay, so that just turns the whole thing off. Okay, so disabled true. We don't actually want that, but it's good to know that it's there. Okay, so now it's back. Perfect. And then viewports is an object, the configuration object for the viewport. Okay, so I know it said that there was an example somewhere. The viewports object needs the following keys. Viewports object needs the following keys. Okay, so if I was going to build up, so viewports, this is just an object as far as I can tell. And then I think inside of it, viewport objects, the configuration object of viewports. Let's see if there's an example. Okay, yes. So we're gonna have it's gonna have a key. So whatever one, and it needs a name. And then this is kind of like the full text name, I guess, that's going to show up. Whatever. One styles. Okay, so this is an object. Sets inline styles to be applied to the story. So width and height. So let's make a square one. Width is 640 by height 640. And then are these just pixel values? Let's see. Okay, so I need to put, at least according to this demonstration, these need to be strings. And I need to put the, can't even remember what that's called, the type, what is that? Unit of measurement. Okay. Okay, so we have the styles, and then I guess that's it, right? Because this other one's optional. Type, string, type of the device, desktop, mobile, or tablet. Oh, okay. So and then the example value, desktop. Okay, so let's add that. Type. Interesting. Let's find an example with type in it. Whoops. Okay, so there isn't an example with type, and I can't tell if this is some kind of like key. Like is this? Oh wait, a string. Okay, a string. So I think this can be whatever. Type fridge. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I like that. I wonder. Okay, so I'm gonna try something real quick. Not sorry. Can I? Oh, hey, look. So cool. I can put your thing on there. Type fridge. I like it. Very cool. Just amusing myself. Thanks. Okay, so type fridge. Okay, so we're gonna save this. Okay, so I'm gonna say what I think that I'm gonna see. Okay, I broke this though because I put viewports inside of viewports. I think, no, viewport is the feature. Yeah, viewport is the feature, and I'm putting a viewports object inside of it. So I'm configuring my viewports for the viewport feature. Okay, and then I have one of my viewports, so it's this keyed object, and I just kind of name it whatever I want. I give it the dimensions that I want, and then give it a type, which we think can be whatever. And so we have this as fridge, because, you know, all devices, trying to support all devices here. Probably mapping to an icon of something, most likely just has desktop, phone, tablet though. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna save this, see what happens. Maybe it broke dreadfully, maybe it works. And I kind of assume that now that I'm defining this, it's just gonna show this one and not the sample ones that I had before. I don't know for sure, but that's what I would guess. Yes. Okay, cool. Doing pretty good so far. Okay, so whatever. It moves to 640 by 640. I assume, yeah, 640 by 640. We can swap that. Doesn't matter because it's whatever. I don't see anything to do with fridge. So I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that part out in a second. Man, I swear, knowing that my family has this thing, now I'm every little tickle in my throat makes me feel like maybe I'm sick. Okay, when it's probably just dust. Okay, what do we got next? Okay, so the viewport object needs the following keys. So name, string. Okay, so we already did that. So the default is responsive, which I do believe is okay. Actually, let's play with the default real quick. So if I wanted to now, I could say the default viewport is whatever one, and I'll use that key, and then this should. It's hard to tell because I reset the viewport. Yes. Okay, cool. So now because I set the default to this, it's automatically jumping into that viewport. Makes sense. Cool. Everything is extremely sensible so far. Extremely sensible. Um, Use a detailed set of devices. By default, Storybook uses a minimal set of viewports to get you started, but you're not restricted to these. The add-on offers a more granular list of devices that you can use. So change your Storybook preview.js to the following. Okay, so we can import. Cool. Okay, so we can import all of the add-on viewports, and we can import them as, I guess we can take them as whatever we want, but actually I have to do as, right? Whoops. Okay, so just in case I wanted to rename that or whatever, so we have a map of those viewports. Let's see. So start your storybook, and we'll see the new devices that you can use. So here is the complete list. Okay, cool. So we have iPhone 5, 6, 6P, 6, or 8P. Was there no 7? Weird. I had an iPhone 7. Where's 7? Maybe they're the same dimensions or something. Okay, so iPhone X, X Max. Okay, cool. Or 10 Max. My bad. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of devices here. We have. Okay, so these are the ones I think that we were seeing before. Small mobile, large mobile, tablet. Minimal viewports, default. Okay, cool. So we should be able to, I guess, spread this object out. How do I do that? Storybook viewports. Been a while since I've actually written code. Done a lot of writing, not a lot of code writing. And then if that's the case, I should be able to set the default then. So having all of these in here now, I should be able to set the default to iPhone XS Max using that string I got from here, and it should be 896 by 414. All right, let's save that and see what we did. Yes. Oh, I didn't even need to refresh. It auto refreshed for me. Okay, so we have the iPhone XS Max. Obviously, we can swap these. That looks about right to me. And then cool, we have the entire list of all of the other devices, which is really neat. I'm kind of curious how this maps to the default devices that you have here. Now, this is just a basic installation of Chrome. I haven't done anything special here, so I don't know how these devices got on here, but we have iPhone SE, iPhone XR, 12, Pixel. Okay, so fewer devices. But actually, I think that there's more. If I go into edit, yeah, okay. So there's a ton here. It's just that those are the ones set up. Oh yeah, so 6, 7, and 8 plus are the same dimensions, I guess. Okay, cool. Nice to know. All right. So at this point, what do we know? We know how to kind of add this viewport field, what some of the required keys are if we want to add things, how to use the view, the default view, how to add our own views. This should still be in there. I think I didn't check. Okay, cool. Yep, whatever's still in there. How to import these and spread all of them out. I think we could also just spread out. How would this look? Um, yeah, we could do specific ones if we wanted to. I don't know if I'm going to go into that right now. Okay, so what were my original questions? So, where's the configuration for the standard viewports? So obviously there's some kind of magic where if it doesn't detect a viewport field in here, it just, um, I don't know, uses, I think, this object of minimal viewports right here. That's the default. Um, let's see. So I'm actually going to capture this link for myself. Okay, so how do we add more? We got that. That was right in this whole section, configuration. Okay, is there a standard library of viewports? Yes, there are. So that's this file. Okay, so, and then how do we add custom viewports? And we did that. Okay, cool. Let's see. So we got all of my incoming questions done, which is great. Not too bad. It's not even, hasn't even been a half hour yet. Arthur, are you using this are you using viewports and Storybook and all that kind of stuff? I'm kind of curious if there are any features that you wanted to check out um, in this. Okay, so yeah, just hit me up and we will, yeah, if you're still here, we'll figure that out. Okay, so the viewport object needs the following keys. We did that. Okay, use detailed set of devices. Okay, we did that. Add new devices. We kind of jumped ahead and added those for ourselves. Make the following changes to use them in your storybook. Viewport, custom viewports. Okay, we did that. Okay, cool. So they just, I did it in line, but they're just showing you how to do it in a variable. Make the following changes. Yep, once you start Storybook, you'll see your new viewports and devices. If you need, you can also add these to another list of viewports. For instance, okay, cool. So that's just showing what we did, which is the minimal viewports and the custom viewports. Actually, that's a good point. So if we wanted to have the minimal viewports that we had before plus just our one, so the small, large tablet or whatever, we could do that, except I screwed it up. Okay, maybe let's see, because this is an object. It should be an object just like this one. Oh no, because I'm doing, yeah, so let me change that alias up here. So this will be minimal. So now it should show whatever plus the small, large tablet. Okay, cool. Good. Let's see. So, oh, I should fix this formatting here. I'll do it next time. Really starting to formalize our components now. We've been playing catch up with needs from the users the last 2 years. And now we're jumping into the design system hype train. Nice. Yeah. I'm a big fan of like just doing it progressively. Like I did an interview with Jen Chan the other day and we talked about kind of like component library versus design system and how design system is often thought of as this very like top down kind of process where you're building this design system in isolation and then applying it to your application. Whereas I really like that starting with a component library, understanding your packaging, your distribution, and whatnot for components that already exist, sharing those, and then kind of infusing design thinking into those components and then growing it over time. So I feel like that's where most applications, that's the place that most applications actually live. Um, unless you're a big company. Um, I don't know. Thoughts? Okay. Yes, I am on the I am. I'm helping to conduct that train. Let's see. So both viewports, Kindle Fire 2 and Kindle Fire HD, will remain in the list of devices by merging them with the minimal viewports. Okay, cool, perfect. This is so great. Um, Great documentation, team. Good work. This is very, very accessible. Okay, configuring per component or story. Oh, that's great. That's a great call out. So, um, okay, so I'm gonna link this granular configuration. So we can do this. So far, we've been doing this kind of site wide. I'm trying to think of like what's the case where you would want granular configuration. Obviously, there's gonna be. I don't know if this would make a ton of sense, but just thinking through it right now, maybe you have a subset of views, maybe you have a desktop app and a mobile app, and you want to split those out and have those configurations like for different sets of stories. That might be a reason. Um, so like so separate desktop and mobile components. I think another thing might be like right now we're looking at whole pages, and so we're gonna have those viewports. This is kind of a little bit of a hack, but like let's say that you had components, isolated components, and they would never be viewed inside of a full viewport, but you might have them have their own level of responsiveness, not using container queries. I don't know. That might be another reason. So like non full viewports, partial viewports. I don't know. Um, I'll have to ask around. That's what we've been doing. Let's see. But now we want to formalize and rationalize our usage, removing a mental load in devs when we experiment with solutions. Yeah, totally. Totally, totally. It's kind of fun. I really like that progressive. Honestly, I like the progressive way of working because you. I think one of the hardest things about building design systems and having them implemented is that trust factor. And I think top-down design systems can be really tricky because people, it's like that not invented here thing rises up. And when you figure out the working together part, the collaborative piece first, then people can trust your intentions as you do more and more of the top down type of work and introduce new components. So I think it's a good way to go. Let's see, configuration per component. Okay, so let's do this. I want to add a viewport specifically to this view or this component. Yeah, specifically for this component. So in cases where it's not practical for you to use specific visual viewports on a global scale, and you need to adjust it on a individual story. Now, the way these things compose, I assume that it's an individual story in addition to a story file. I think we should be able to, I think we can configure this for this whole page. So update your story through parameters to include your viewport at the component level for a specific story. Okay, so this is taking me to this file specifically. And so we're looking at the logged in story. Yep, logged in story. So component, so export default. Okay, so it's showing two things here. I'm going to play with both of them. So first, I want to just go fully all the way to the most extreme. So we go from global, and I want to go to component specific. So we're logged in. I'm going to do logged in dot parameters, pass in the optional object, viewport. Oh, let's see. So I don't have this anymore. We're gonna use the whatever one. Now, what are we using here? I think it's the key. That would make the most sense. And then we are passing it as a string because we don't. It would be variable otherwise. It was a nonsensical thing to say. So default viewport whatever one. So now logged in should now, when the story's opened, default to our whatever one square 640 by 640. And it does. Cool. Now if I open up the sidebar again and I go to logged out, that goes to the default responsive one. And then this one is the logged in one. I don't know. I got a weird thing. It looks like maybe I'm not broadcasting right now. If you're still watching and you can hear me, okay, so I'm going to continue anyway. Okay, cool. Perfect. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know, my YouTube's just being weird. Okay, so what do we got here? What do we got? Okay, so yeah, so now when I go between logged out and logged in, we see that it, at the component level, it's doing this, which is really cool. Now I can also take this configuration and in parameters, viewport. So we're going to kind of cascade some different options in. So we'll say the default viewport is, what are some options that we have here? Name tablet. Okay, string, like that. Cool. Okay, and then if we add another story, just logged. Okay, so we're going to add another story into this. It's going to be like the logged out story. And because we're not kind of overriding this default at a component level, it should get the same treatment as those. Yeah, perfect. Now this is interesting. Okay. When I change that configuration, it looked like this was going back to responsive, but it looks like it's sorted out now. Okay, cool. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I guess that's all to say that we can change all the way down. Oh, shoot. I lost my indenting because clearly that doesn't work in comments. So we can do this globally at a story level and at a component level, which is cool. Okay. Neat. I think that's honestly it. This is like pretty simple. Okay, so let's see. So what else do we have? So we have Shift V, V, Alt V. I don't think these work. Okay, so what's the order here? So whatever, small, large, tablet. Okay, so if I hit V regular, we go large, tablet, whatever. And if I go Shift V, it should go backwards. Okay, This does seem to work. Alt V though, I'm not getting anything. I don't know if that's my configuration or what, but um, that does not reset uh, the viewport as is stated. So I don't know. Is what it is. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're good. Um, I guess I have a little bit of time, so I think you know, if anyone's still here and has any questions, then I'll tackle those. But I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna go into just like kind of like what the narrative for like since we have this time, what the narrative for a video will probably be like. So let's just try this. Um, so we have a handful of features that we want to demonstrate. I think that it makes sense the way that this documentation is oriented to show the global changes first. I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, global down to, because I think that's the way that most people are going to use it, right? They're going to set up their viewports kind of in a global way, not really worry about specific, edge cases, and then, kind of use that across their application. So we're going to start global down to component. Now, I don't know exactly how important that is in the grand scheme of thing. We definitely want to like show setup first. And I think in my last video, I demonstrated the features, so I probably want to just like dive right into the configuration. Now, how we actually show the specifics of the configuration is interesting. I feel like showing the standard library is a higher priority because it gets you a lot further faster. So like if I want to know what my site looks like on iPhone 10, I can just pull that from the standard library without having to know what those dimensions are. So let's start with and pick a specific device. And then after that, so we have a specific device. Actually, maybe we start with adding the full extended library. I don't know. I could go either way on that. I feel like maybe this way is a little bit easier to understand. So adding full library and then extending with a specific device, a custom device. And then I don't know. It might be kind of fun to have this be something silly. I really do like that fridge idea, Arthur. So maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe that'll make an appearance. Okay, so that's kind of so that's like the how, and then we'll probably go into the where, which is kind of like top down. So global story component. I think that makes sense. And I think the fridge sideways. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Yeah, so that's a good follow-up question, actually. Can I turn the swap feature off when I know possible orientation? That is a really interesting question. Thank you for uh, fleshing that out for me. Um, yeah, that is interesting because you can turn viewports off. Oh, and actually, uh, this is interesting. Something interesting that we didn't try is, can I turn, let's see, so on the page level, can I turn this off? Shoot, I forgot the value for it. Disable, yeah, disable true. Okay, so can I turn this off on a page by page basis? So, yes. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say, I think we're also gonna have like a when section. We'll talk about disabling for isolated components, non-pages, because I feel like that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, right, like if you have a button component, it's not particularly interesting to have all the viewports applied there, and might just add some confusion. So being able to disable it at every level is a really interesting idea. Uh, sleeping on a fridge is actually an interesting idea. Yeah, you kind of like set up a bed. I mean, it'd be a very economical use of space, right? Like you set up your bed on top of it, and then you kind of like open it up and have all your fridge stuff, but stacked like the opposite direction. I mean, if you got a tiny space, that's not a bad idea. I like it, tiny home style. Okay, so when there may be some other whens that we need to flesh out, but I think that that's an interesting start, and it kind of answers that question um, of like pages versus components. Um, okay, so we have that logged out. Okay, cool. Let's see. Anything else we need to cover? I think honestly, this is looking good. We kind of have like three sections, logical sections where we, how, where, when. Um, I don't necessarily think we need to tackle the why. I think that's kind of assumed. So I think this is probably good. And I think that we have some you know, pretty easy stuff here. So I think that's it. I think we did it. Arthur, I want to thank you for your help today in helping me suss this out. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna. I don't even know how to do it, but I'll mention you in the notes or whatever on the video when it goes live, so you can see it. But yeah, it's good to see you again. Also, it's kind of fun. I always, whenever I step away from something and then like step back into it, it's like it's like walking back through a neighborhood of people that you know. So anyway, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not gonna belabor the thing. We finished earlier than I expected. Everything was really straightforward. So I think we're good. Uh, and yes, thank you, and yeah, thanks. I would like to escape COVID. That would be very nice. Yeah. So again, this is just a live stream preparing for a video. I don't know if I'm going to leave these streams public, but if I do, I'll I don't know, maybe up here somewhere, add a link to the video that this resulted in. And yeah, cool. This has been fun. Arthur, good to see you again. Anyone else who's here but quietly, thank you also for being here. I appreciate you helping me sort this out. I'll see you next time. Peace. Now, how do I end this? How to end?